my right, your right, and everyone's right to live as free citizens in India. That's what fundamental rights are actually about. Sometimes when you hear it in judgments of the court or some lawyer speaking on TV, you think it's something big and abstract. But actually it's not. It's very simply about our right to live as free citizens in India. Sadda Haq is about protests, and Indians have been protesting and expressing their freedom to dissent right from the time of our freedom struggle. From Gandhiji, who went on the Dandi March in 1930, to the anti-corruption protests in 2011, that is an expression of our fundamental right to protest that is given by Part 3 of the Constitution of India. Today, of course, there are several thousand farmers protesting at the Singhu and Tikri borders of Delhi against some farm laws. There have been similar protests in the past, and the Supreme Court of India has recognized that this right to protest is a fundamental right that every individual has. But equally, every fundamental right has restrictions. So the state can restrict fundamental rights in order to ensure law and order, sovereignty and security of India. There is always a balance. So what other rights are there in Part 3 of the Constitution that deals with fundamental rights? Here's an adaptation of what the founding father of the Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, said.
These principles of liberty, equality and fraternity are not to be treated as separate items in a trinity. Liberty cannot be divorced from equality. Equality cannot be divorced from liberty. Nor can liberty and equality be divorced from fraternity.
Liberty, equality and fraternity. Those are the three broad categories of rights that the Constitution gives us. Liberty is the freedom to speak, is the freedom to go where you want, the freedom to practice or preach any religion that you might want. Those are the liberty rights in the Constitution. Equality, that is, every citizen of India is equal and must be treated equally. You cannot be discriminated against if you are a woman and not a man, dark-skinned and not fair-skinned, short and not tall. We are all equal before the law. And then there's fraternity, that we are a nation that is together. So there is an abolition of untouchability in the Fundamental Rights chapter, and also an abolition of titles like Lord and Lady as we had during the British Raj. This is to show that we are not only equal, but we are one. Speaking about the Constitution, Dr. Ambedkar spoke about one specific right in the Fundamental Rights chapter, which he said is the very heart and soul of the Constitution, and that is Article 32. Article 32 of the Constitution allows every single person to approach the Supreme Court of India if there is a violation of your fundamental rights. So if your liberty, equality or fraternity is threatened by state action, the doors of the Supreme Court are always open. So what are you waiting for? Go out there and exercise your rights. Say to everyone, Sadda Haq, Ethe Haq.